Hi, everyone. Difficult time for me to be at the presentation just before lunch. I'll try to finish it as soon as possible to convey the message which I have prepared for today's presentation. So my topic for today is forensic auditing key challenges. I'll touch base upon three of the key challenges between certain informative sides of doing forensic audit and investigations. The first key challenge which most of the forensic auditors face is their mandate. What is the mandate of the forensic audit? What is the TOR for the forensic audit? Then the second challenge is what kind of measures the forensic auditor will take in terms of gathering the evidences. And in that particular area, one of the utmost important thing in this digital crime, in the digital age, is to have the electronic evidence as part and parcel of the investigations. So even the master of the ceremony was asking me, is this forensic is your invention or people will know this word? So I said, no, I hope people understand what this word is all about. So forensic means something which is suitable for the use in the court of law. So then what is forensic audit? Forensic audit or investigation is an examination of financial information, transaction, in order to prosecute a party for the act of fraud, misconduct, and embezzlement. What differs my approach as a forensic auditor from a normal auditor, I was part of the external audit earlier as well, is what I'm looking for at my planning stage, execution stage, and closure stage in an audit. I just need 6 answers. And how I'll get those answers is asking 5 W's in H. When I say 5 W's in H approach of questioning, that needs to be applied throughout the course of the investigation. For example, if I'm reviewing a transaction, then I'll say, who has the knowledge of the transaction? What does the document mean? When did the transaction occur? Where did the proceeds of the transactions go? Why was the transaction done? And most importantly, how the transaction was covered up. As you can imagine, whenever you start a forensic audit, people just simply say, can you please do a forensic audit? But what they want, that's one of the awareness which is required. So the forensic audit is required to frame its mandate depending on the type and level of investigation / fraud scenarios analysis which is required by the organization. The level 1, what we call the activity investigation, that is conducted where the investigator attempts to find the answer to the question, what happened? Level 2 is problem investigation, which is conducted where the investigator wants to find an answer, how it happened. The majority of the investigations, which comes from the board and audit committees and which the organization tends to do, are level 3 investigations, which are investigations to uncover and unearth a fraudulent act. And the auditor is actually, or investigator is actually attempting to find the answer, why did it happen, plus who did it. This is the most challenging area of investigation. And the last investigation criteria, I've just put it to whether I should call it as an investigation, because this is one of the areas which I've been receiving a lot of help from a lot of organizations. What we call is fraud scenario analysis, which are conducted by forensic auditor to find the answers, how to prevent it from happening again. I'll just briefly touch base about these types of investigations and what are the challenges involved in each stage. The activity investigation is focused on activities that may have been performed in an unacceptable manner. Examiners are looking for activities in past events and prepare a reconstruction of sequence of events. And on that particular basis, the investigator framed the finding. But what are the key challenges? What are the drawbacks of doing this kind of investigation? As you have to prepare a chronology of event, you don't need to miss any time frame, any point, any time, or any date. Actually, the auditors dig in too further to prepare the chronology of the events, and that takes a lot of resources and time. Now we go to the second part, which we call problem investigation. This is focused on a problem or issue that needs to be resolved. Examiners are looking for the answers. The areas of problems are predefined. Where answers are found, the investigation is stopped or you terminate the investigation. The biggest problem with this kind of investigation, there is no room for investigating to pursue other tracks than those who are targeted for this particular predefined problem. Now, the third and the most prevalent investigation areas is to find what is hidden. This investigation is focused on revealing something that is hidden. Examiner will choose their tactics for success in disclosure of possible misconduct and white-collar crime. Here, our main objective and main focus is to catch the offender rather than the offense, as the case was with level 1 and level 2. Who did it and why they did it? Typically, the line of inquiries are against executives who may have abused their position for personal or organization illegal gain. To identify all suspects, witnesses to collaborate the evidences sometimes take a lot of our time. This is a more intense investigation because suspicion and suspects should be handled in a responsible manner with respect to rules of the law and human rights as well. What is fraud scenario analysis? I'll just briefly touch base on that. The forensic auditor covers various processes and functions where either the fraud happened in the past or risk of fraud is high. The key challenge is development of fraud risk scenarios for areas where there is no past history of fraud and misconduct. The key message that a forensic auditor needs to communicate that this type of scenario analysis would mitigate the risk of fraud rather than eliminating it from the organizations. Whatever kind of investigations which we do, there are several means of gathering evidence. Physical search and seizure, digital evidence recovery, interviews, physical observation surveillance, and corporate intelligence, media adverts, media press, site visits to the vendors, suppliers, and all that. Initially, the physical search is what was originally used in investigation. In addition to hard copy data collection, an investigator requires electronic sets of data to substantiate the allegations. As a proactive measure and in order to identify suspicious activities, the investigators reviews IT department help desk logs to identify individuals who have made requests for hard drive or system formatting. The organization normally provide laptops and smartphones to the executives, and the data which resides in those machines are that of the organization. So the question here is whether the organization is responsible for the data residing in the machines or the individual. The suspects may use their email IDs or use instant messaging softwares like WhatsApp for communicating with third parties. So the question here is, what would be the search process and protocol when we search through our digital storage media? What kind of tools and techniques are available which are required to maintain the credibility of the data from its recovery till reporting? In a digital crime scene, the electronic evidence is available in laptops. The laptops contain documents, financial records, log files, internet history, emails, and deleted files. Mobile phone contain contact details, SMS, MMS. And system IT servers have system logs, IP addresses, documents, as well as deleted files. So as I said, what should be the protocol? How we do it? Here, we bring in forensic technology experts to help investigators to retrieve digital evidence. So what is forensic technology? Forensic technology is collecting and preserving of electronic stored information. Forensic technology helps to collect, recover, and analyze digital evidence. Obtaining digital evidence involves imaging of digital storage media and records on different data computing machines. I purposely highlighted the word imaging. We are all of the view that if we take backup of the systems, we take backup. Normally, in all the cases, the word backup is being used, and an employee is leaving, take his backup. There is some issue with some laptop, take a backup. What's the problem with the backup? This is another challenge in an investigation. Backup is the dumping of the data files on some backup medium, such as USB, diskette, or hard drive devices. Backup provides only copy of those files which existed at the time of backup. In case a file is accessed after backup without forensic technology tools, the date of modification can be used as a mean of counter argument during a case. It is not acceptable in the court of law. What is imaging then? Imaging representation or reproduction of object form. Imaging retrieves all data files from machine even if they were deleted. We all have a view, delete something. It goes out of the system. It's not a window, you throw something out, it goes out of the system. I'll not teach how to save that aspect, and so that's not the purpose of the presentation today. But the main objective or the main concerns of most of the organization here is that how to retrieve the deleted files. Let it be laptops, let it be servers, let it be mobile phones. Imaging does not modify file creation date. The number of times the investigator will open that particular document with the forensic tools, the date will never change at all. It is acceptable in the court of law. So if we have to do imaging, what protocols we need to follow? Because as I earlier said, forensic is something which is suitable for the court of law. So what court is looking at? Court is looking at how vigilant were you in your process of gathering the evidence. From the day you have taken the custody of the machine, the date till you have reported. So the gathering of evidence takes place in 5 stages. In stage 1, represent identification, preservation, and collection of digital storage media. At the time of collecting digital storage media, consent of the suspect and/or the data owner is taken. Thereafter, chain of digital storage media is maintained until the digital storage media is handed over to the suspect. What we do then? We image the machine through forensic tools. There are several forensic tools being used for this purpose called FTK, NCASE, and NILINX. A copy of the image file is then being made and encrypted. Both sets are being encrypted. One is kept as original, and whatever analyses are being performed, they are performed on the working copy. The process of imaging data is done by forensic tools as well. Now, once you have to process the data, you use other forensic tools. That can be NCASE, Clearwell, and Nuix, which is available these days. Now, I have to review the information. So I will publish the information. I will index this. The tool will index the information in terms of different sets. So that we can filter the area, time of review, specific files to be reviewed, and which are part and parcel of the investigation. So how I will review a machine? I cannot review 250 gigabytes of data. My approach needs to be focused. So how I'll approach any investigation. There could be several combination. You can select certain dates, you can select certain email communications, but you have to develop certain keywords. There are two types of keywords being developed at this stage. One are called specific keywords. Specific keywords are the keywords which are specific to the investigation, such as name of the alleged individual, name of the alleged vendor, or generic keywords, which can be share, profit, commission. You may put fraudulent, you may put insider trading, and sometimes we do put keywords, and that reveals fantastic results like husband, wife, daughter, illness, transfer this money into my wife's bank account. So sometimes these keywords also reveal fantastic results. So that is how you have to approach the analysis phase of the imaging. Last but not the least is the reporting. In the reporting phase, you have to mention each and every stage of the process gathering, from initiation till end. And whatever report you submit, it has to be supported with exhibits, which we call evidences. And they are submitted in PDF, retrieved from the system in a PDF form, which has all the stamps when this file was created, when this file was last modified, when this file was last accessed. Just before I conclude my presentation, and I think I'm spot on in terms of the timing, in the recent, my experience, there are three key challenges which I've brought in on the table today. Most importantly, the forensic auditor needs to be very, very clear in terms of the mandate which he is agreeing, the mandate he wants to work on. Second, all lines of inquiries needs to be taken. Please be sure evidence these days is not available in paper. Till the time you start an investigation, planning and all that, you come to the crime scene, everything is fixed. You have to look at other avenues. You have to look into digital evidence. And third, the area which we all need to work on is in order for that particular investigation to stand in a court of law, we need to be very sure about our IT asset transfer forms, where we give individuals their laptops or mobile phone. It shouldn't be a ticking box form where you just mention the type of the mobile, the type of the laptop, you have received the charger, and that's it. But please do include who will be responsible for the data residing in these machines. Thank you very much.